This is part one to what if Deku was in a band. Deku, he's less of a pussy in this one. Like, he'll get up, if you mess with him, he'll get up and fight you, but he's not gonna go in the head and start a fight. Like, he looks like a punk by the age of 10. He has a part-time job to help support himself. His mom and him, they don't really get along. So he's really nice to people, but if you mess with him or his friends, he's going to hurt you. Like, that's just normal. If you mess with him or his friends, he's going to hurt you. So instead of going to school with Bakugo, he goes to Jiro's school, the punk rock queen. So them two bond over music, and there are three other people that they grow up with. Instead of them two going to UA, they start a band. These two, the blonde kid's name is gonna be Tokoyashi, and the black haired kid's name is gonna be let's call him Sung Jin Woo. He's from Korea. So Tokoyashi and Jinwoo, or Sung, people call him Sung or Mr. Sung because he's a lot taller than everyone and he looks like an adult at the age of 11. Tokoyashi, he's almost as tall as Sung. Them two, they're really close. They've been together since the age of 3. And this guy's name will be what's a generic name? Let's call him let's call him Aiden. He's from America. He came to Japan because higher education, and he didn't expect to find people that love music too as much as he did. So yeah, this is what Jiro's gonna look like. So they start a band. They're in middle school at this time, and Deku, he's in music class, band, he's in choir, stuff like that. All 5 of them are. That's how they bonded, music. Jiro and Deku, they're pretty good friends. Tokoyashi and Sung Jin Woo, they're pretty good friends. And Aiden, he hangs out with everyone. He's like the popular kid, but a lot of people fear him because he's went to 3 other schools and he's been kicked out of almost all of them. So he hangs out with these 4 a lot because they're the only people that come to him. So Deku, he saves up for a guitar, the one in the picture, and he buys it and he shows his band teacher. His band teacher, she's like, "You want to learn guitar? Alright, I'll show you." And this is like, what's a master and student? This is like, master and student. Well, he's just like he's into rock. He's a really good guitar player. He's an all-around good person. So he knows guitar, drums, and vocal. He He's really good to be in a band, but he's not going to be in the band. So he's going to be more of like a manager. So he's teaching Deku, and the other four walk in, and they all want lessons. And what should I name the old guy? The old guy's name is going to be Yoshi. Yoshi. No, scratch that. It's not going to be Yoshi. I just realized what I got that from. So, the old guy's name is going to be Finn. He's also from America, and Finn and Aiden's parents, they know each other. That's why Finn came, because his best friend moved to Japan and he followed him, and Finn's best friend is Aiden's dad. So that's how Finn and Aiden know each other. So Finn's like an uncle to Aiden. So Finn's teaching them all like the basics, what they're gonna need to do in order to start a band, how to decide like where their next gig's gonna be, stuff like that. Finn, he's a really cool guy, and all the students know that he's teaching them, because you can basically hear it throughout the school. So Tokoyashi and Deku are learning guitar. Sungjin Woo is learning the drums. Aiden is learning vocals and Aiden's just vocals, and Jiro, she's also vocals. They're like a duet type thing. So, yeah. They're playing in the gym when the principal's a really chill guy. He wants the best for his students. He's kind of like less successful Nezu. He wants the best for his students no matter what, even in the worst case scenario. So he calls up a big company, not a company, a studio. He calls up a big studio, and they're talking, and he's like, hey, I've got a really good band of youngsters here, and can you help them get on their feet and stuff? And the guy on the other phone's like, yeah, okay, I've known you for a while, I guess I'll do it. I'll send someone to listen to their stuff. Where are they most likely going to be whenever they practice? So he tells them Deku's address, and they practice on Saturdays. So they're practicing, they're singing something, I'm not sure what, and they're all of them are practicing, trying to get the rhythm, and each of them individually is like amazing, but then together they haven't learned how to work together as well as most bands. So sorry guys, my stuff cut off, I'm not sure why, but so the guy, he notices this, and he says, I'm gonna give it a couple months, let them get in the rhythm, and we'll see how they do in a couple months. He goes back and tells the guy that the principal was talking to this, and the guy calls back the principal and tells him what they've decided to do. The principal's like, okay, I'm not gonna tell them, I want it to be a surprise, see how they work and grow on their own. So as that's happening, Deku says, guys, yesterday there was someone outside of the garage watching us practice. It looked like someone like in a business suit. I don't know what they're gonna do. We should probably get better, that way we don't embarrass ourselves in front of anyone. So, and they're like, yeah. So keep in mind the principal hasn't told the music teacher, the all-around guy, that he's recommended the people to a big old company. And so they go to the teacher dude and they're like, we want to get better as a group, not individually. So the teacher dude's like, alright, blah 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 blah, we're gonna work on your social skills. Each one of you is gonna spend a week with each other. As that's happening, Deku and Jiro, they already know each other really well, so they're gonna be split up. Aiden doesn't really know anyone that good, so he's gonna be spending the week with the blonde-haired kid and Jiro. Deku's gonna be spending the week with Sungjin Woo. So Deku, he's getting to know Sungjin Woo and all the music preferences, everything, favorite food, coffee, everything. So that goes by, a couple weeks go by, and they've each spent a week with each other, the people that they didn't know. So as that's happening, they decide, we're gonna practice again to see how we do. And they decide to sing something like AC/DC, Thunderstruck, or something like that. And as they're doing this, the guy's walking by, and they've gotten a lot better together instead of individually. So the big company is from America, and instead of Jiro deciding to become a hero, she decides to join the band and go into the thing. They get really popular. No, we're not skipping that far ahead. So Midoriya's mom, Inko, and Mitsuki, they still know each other. They just don't live that close to each other. They're best friends and everything. They just don't live that close. So Deku tells Inko that... So Deku tells... My stuff cut off again. I don't know why. Deku tells Inko that he's got an offer to go to America, and he'll be working for a company that's really big in America, and they'll make music with his friends. Inko's reluctant at first, but agrees because it's her son's dream and stuff. So yeah, they tell the all-around guy, and they say that they won't go unless he goes with them. And they talk, and the teacher's like, alright, well, if y'all want me to go that bad, I will. Let's do this. So on the flight there, some people notice that Deku and his friends, Jiro and Tokoyashi, Sungjin Woo, and Aiden, they didn't notice at first because they're not from America. But some of the people on the plane came from visiting relatives there. And they noticed that the guy's famous from America. Like, he's gotten a lot of people to come to America to be great at singing and stuff. So that's happening, and they see these two, Aiden, Jiro, and Deku, sitting in first class next to him. And they realize what's going on. So they back off. They're like, hey, can I get your autograph? Because you're going to make it big someday. And Deku's like, you haven't even heard my stuff. They're like, do you know who that guy is? He makes all the big stars. And Deku looks the guy's name up. and he's really big. He's gotten a lot of people that are trying to get him on his side. So Deku shows this to their friends, and they're like, "Whoa, you're that one guy, blah 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 blah. You're really famous in America." And he's like, "Yeah, I didn't tell you guys because I wanted to see how you would react to a non-famous person." So Deku's like, "Alright, well, that doesn't change how we see you. You're still pretty good, and I hope we can make it big like all the others and make the guy proud." So people recognize his teacher too. He used to be big in America, just like the recruiter. And the recruiter notices this. He just realized who he was. He was the first person that the guy recruited to come to America. And the dude, he's freaking out. He's like, "I haven't seen you in so long, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, how are you?" Like, he wasn't sitting next to them, so he was kind of out of sight. And so they're talking, and Deku and the rest, they're wondering what's going on with their teacher and the recruiter. So they ask him, and it goes like normal. He says, "This was the first guy I recruited. He's really good. Did y'all learn from him?" Because he already knows that this was the guy that they said, "We won't go without him." And they're like, "Yeah, he was the person that taught us everything." So this is happening, and Deku and his friends finally make it to America. There's a big old limousine waiting there for them. 2 black cars in the front, 2 black cars in the back. They're going all out because this guy, not the person that was first recruited for that guy, the recruiter himself is famous. And people, sometimes they try to hurt him or kidnap him for money. So that's why it's all like that. They get in the limousine with the dude, and they're talking, and they get it to this big old place, and Deku and his friends are like, "Wow, this place is so big." They're just astonished because it's like a compound. Like 2 buildings in the front, a wall around the thing, stuff like that. Because a lot of famous people are here all the time. They can't just have everybody be able to come in anytime they want. So other music people, they see that Deku's with the famous recruiter, and everyone else is like pop. They're gonna be like punk rock and stuff, and they notice the attire they have, and they're astonished because this is the first time that the guy has went after a punk rock band. So they're just astonished that this guy has chosen to go and recruit someone else. So Deku, he's amazed that this guy is so well known. Like, it's crazy. He just thought he was a recruiter until the plane flight. And now he's figuring out that he's really famous. So, yeah, and they're taken to the studio, and they're like, "Alright, let's see what you got. Give it all you got." So, they get out their stuff, and it's just like cheap stuff. Not that good. Like the strings, they could break at any second. The drums, they're buckets and stuff. So they're like, "Have you been playing with this?" And they're like, "Yeah, we have to be really careful or else they'll break." So they bring in even better stuff like top of the line guitar, top of the line drums, and two mics, and they're singing and they're just having fun while doing it. So it gets out that a new band has shown up at the complex, and reporters, they're all trying to get in and stuff. So while that's happening, Deku and Yujiro, they're getting to know each other more. They already know a lot, but they're probably gonna start dating. So Deku and Jiro, they're pretty good friends. And Deku pops the question, and Jiro's like, yeah, alright, I will. So Deku, he's amazed that Jiro said yes. So Deku, he's doing stuff. He went out to look around, and reporters, they're swarming the compound, so they go out a side thing. And yeah, so Deku and Aiden, they went out alone, and they went to a music store, look at other people's musics from America, and keep in mind that they had to learn English, like, to do stuff in America. So they learned English, they're fluent in it. It's their second language, so they're not like perfect, but they're pretty good. They can hold a conversation, they can sing, they can do all that jazz. So Bakugo, he knew Deku for a while, like before Deku. The reason he moved to Jiro school was because of the bullying and stuff. So yeah, Mitsuki is still practically Deku's aunt. He'd call her every couple of weeks, check up on her, check up on Bakugo, see how they're doing and stuff. Inko tells Mitsuki that Deku went to America and how he's gonna be big someday. And Mitsuki's really happy for Deku. Like, amazed that a little boy that she could practically remember in diapers is gonna be a big star in America. And Bakugo, he's jealous. Like, I mean, that dang Deku, he thinks he's better than me just because he's gonna be big one day. Well, I'm gonna be the number one hero, and I'm gonna be better than him. And Mitsuki sees that look on his face, and she's like, aren't you happy for him? And Bakugo's like, why would I be happy for that quirkless Deku? So Inko and Mitsuki, they ignore, because why not? That's always Bakugo. He doesn't like people. So Deku, they've played for a while. It's a couple years later, and UA is holding the sports festival, and they wanted it to be great. They wanted more people to show up from America, from different countries and stuff. They didn't want like a small turnout. Let's say that UA is still pretty big, but it's not the top school. So instead of the top school like getting recorded and put on the news and stuff, it was UA that did. And it slowly got bigger and bigger. So the sports festival was being held, and Nezu, he planned something. He didn't even tell the teachers about it. He only said that it was going to be a surprise. Midnight, she's a big fan of the band that Deku's in. And it's just, she's all around happy that, well, her favorite band came out onto the thing. So they start playing, and Bakugo realizes who's playing, because he can hear Deku's voice. Because it was like something you can do the best and stuff, but it wasn't like a full song through that. It was just a song for the first years. So for the second and third years, they played like their normal stuff, but it was live in person. And reporters, they were there because they wanted to see who the top from each school was. And news got out that they were playing, and a lot of people tried to get in, but it was already over by the time they got there. So Nezu thanked them for coming and stuff, and Bakugo, he ran up to Deku like, "Who do you think you are? You think you're better than me, you dang Deku." Sorry, I'm scrolling through random pictures. "You think you're better than me, you dang Deku. I'm gonna beat you. You're nothing to me." And Aiden takes off the mask, and like, you know how people say he got knocked out? Well, yeah, he got knocked out. It was just a full-on punch. Let's say Aiden has a strength enhancement quirk, and he's like the big brother to the band. Jiro's like a sister, and these two, they're like the annoying little brothers, but they all get along. Deku's like the dad of the group. He keeps everyone in line, and he tries not to get in fights, but he will fight. If not for him, he'll fight for his friends. He doesn't really care if someone messes with him. So Deku, he's not even phased. He's like, if you hit him back, if any of you hit my friends, I'm gonna hit you. And Aiden is like, bruh, so you're gonna hit them if they talk about us bad or hit us, but you won't stand up for yourself? And Deku's like, nah, I don't really care. So Aiden's kind of mad at Deku, and not really pissed, just kind of mad that Deku won't stand up for himself. So Aiden starts telling Deku that he needs to stand up for himself, and the rest of them can fight. You don't have to stand up for him. But Deku says, "You're my only friends. I need to stand up for you, or you might leave." And Aiden's like, "You really think we would do that? Blah, 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 blah. You're our best friend, man." So Deku, he says, "Alright, next time, I guess I'll stand up for myself." And Aiden's happy to hear this, and blah, 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 blah. That happens. And after the sports festival, 1A gets a chance, like the top of the classes from UA, they all get a chance to meet Deku and his band. So Bakugo is out cold in the nurse's office. So Deku's talking to Kirishima, Kaminari, and Mineta. Mineta's being a total perv to Jiro. And Deku just, like, full force punches him. Like, no holds bars. Like, just, bam, one hit KO. So Mineta's out cold too now in the nurse's office, and Bakugo's just waking up. He's like, "What the hell happened to me? I'm gonna beat up that blue-haired kid, blah, 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 blah." And he's walking around looking for him, and he sees Nezu. Nezu's like, oh, you're missing the meet and greet with the band. And Bakugo runs out there because he listens to their music sometimes. He wants an autograph. So they get the music autographs and stuff. And Deku, he's kind of surprised that Bakugo listens to his music, but he's not like, oh my god, Bakugo listens to my music. He's just like, huh, prick. So Deku, he's talking to people and stuff. Jiro, he's with Deku talking to people, and it's like normal. Deku, he's just being Deku. He's talking to Kirishima, Kaminari, and stuff. Deku, he kind of gets mad at because he just got a text message from a friend of theirs from America saying that, oh my god, why didn't you tell me you were going to America? Oh my god, why didn't you tell me? Answer me, answer me, answer me. I thought I was your friend, blah 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 blah. And it's just like a toxic friendship. And I'll pick up this tomorrow sometime. I'll leave it off here. Goodbye.